What's up, Angel City? Welcome to another episode of Angel City Chicks. I am your host, Amanda, the Panda Philemon, and joined today with me for episode 71 is, of course, my favorite co-host, Nina. What is going on?
What's up, Angel City? I hope you are enjoying all of the World Cup watching. We hope you're actually watching right now while you have us on. And if not, we had to bring you some news and notes. We had to come to you here and deliver the great news. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are on YouTube. We are on Apple Podcasts. We are on Spotify. We are on all the social medias. So find us there. Tell us your feedback and let Panda know because I'm sensitive. But I did read the notes today.
Yes, Nina, we made sure she went through the notes and we are all on the same page, well versed in what has been happening over this last week, which if you have been living under a rock, then let us let you know what has been happening. Of course, the Women's World Cup is going, the biggest stage for them to play on, and it has been nothing short of exciting so far. But first, you know how we like to do our podcast. We like to warm you up with a little bit of NWSL news, some ACFC news, kind of what's happening, on a little smaller scale. And then we will dive right in to the World Cup. We are not going to get too in depth with everything. We really want to highlight, of course, the players from our team and what they are doing and how they're doing and the teams that they play for. And then we'll add in a little bit else, on top of that we think is kind of significant. So
yeah,
let's
without further ado, let's get into this because we know it's not a big Angel City week again, but it is a big week and there's a lot to get into. So here we go. We have a championship date and, Panda and I are big fans of that drive down to San Diego. And here it is. It is final. The 2023 NWSL championship game is going to be played at Snapdragon Stadium.
Yes, that's going to be an exciting one, no doubt. At least it'll be a little cooler in November, hopefully. So even if the sun's out, maybe it will not scorch and burn us all, but it's going to be really exciting. And I really hope to see a SoCal team in this final. That's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely hoping to make it down there for that. But I do have a question for you, Nino. So as far as championship games go, when I talk about that in general around all leagues of play, whether it's, men's, women's, NFL, MLB, MLS, everybody does things just a little different. And I kind of want to get your take and your reasoning for why you think this is good or not. Now, obviously, we know that NWSL picks a venue every year to host in. So it does not matter who the teams are that are playing. They are going to be playing in San Diego. So it could be like Portland and Gotham playing in San Diego. And that's much
better than playing in Portland.
Right, exactly. And that's much like how the NFL does it. They pick a venue and then they can just throw everything into that well in advance. And it seems to work out well. But then, of course, you've got, MLB, NHL, MLS, who host final games in the host team of, usually who's the higher seed in the two teams that are playing. What do you think of this? Do you like playing in a designated venue? Do you think the NWSL, the structure, and just the way that it is now, that is just the best way? Do you see it changing in the future? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, you know me, I don't like surprises. So in this case, I can budget accordingly because I know no matter what, I kind of want to go to this. I support women's soccer. I love this sport. So I want to be there. And so now I can go and without worrying about last minute hotel rates or plane flights or anything like that, I can go book now. I can wait till there's a good sale. I can plan things out as I like to do. And so I do appreciate that. But then on another level, on the sports business side of it, I think it also makes a lot more sense because otherwise, a lot of these teams don't actually own their stadiums that are playing in the NWSL. And imagine if you had to put a date on hold for November. And then what happens if you guys aren't there? Then you just lose your money? Who knows? I think there's a bigger opportunity. And Ben, I think, is touching on this correctly. Yeah, there's a huge opportunity to have a whole weekend type event, kind of like a Super Bowl festivity. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think November 11th is also Veterans Day.
I was going to say that. I was I'm going to have to show up in some veteran gear because, yeah, that is Veterans Day. So, I mean, hey, no better way to really celebrate that than, watching a game, hopefully with my team in it, I think would be kind of
Yeah,
exciting. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't actually, I don't agree or disagree. I mean, the one thing is you look at this and you buy tickets for this and then your team's not in it. Do you still go or do you,
absolutely.
do you
Oh,
try to
yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
guess. But I think also about, the people that are on the East Coast that go ahead and buy that with the hopes, and then if it doesn't happen, I mean, I guess if I'm on the East Coast and it's San Diego, I probably would anyways, because what a great, like, time to come out to the West Coast.
Absolutely. I mean, come on, we've got great weather. It's probably still gonna be 1,001 degrees, you know? In the East Coast, they're gonna be having snow by then. So come on over.
Absolutely,
Enjoy our
absolutely,
sunshine. And, it's in San Diego, which considering Veterans Day, that I feel like that's a very good city to host that because of their
absolutely.
proximity to all of the bases and things like that. So, I'm also now setting my expectations. They gotta put on a show
Mhm.
for us.
Yeah, hopefully they will definitely bring out the military presence for that and just kind of ramp it up and make it a huge party because you know what? I do think with the NWSL still being kind of a close knit family, I think people will show up and they will support teams regardless of who's in it because at the end of the day, I think it's about supporting the women's game and not specific teams still. I still think we're very much in that realm. And I think, again, everybody's going to see San
Mhm.
Diego and they're going to go, you know what, family, let's book a trip. Let's go.
Yeah. It's a great vacation spot. I mean, how many times have you and I sat there stressing when MLS Cup is coming around going, are we going to have to book tickets? Are we going to have to book a hotel room? Those things skyrocket at the last minute or drop depending on what's happening. But, you
Right.
know, uh, I like planning.
I also like not having to book a plane ticket. We can drive.
We can carpool.
Yes, we can carpool, it'll be great. So yeah. So anyways, that's what's happening. Veterans Day 2023. Make your way down to San Diego and cheer on whoever is in that final. It's gonna be pretty exciting, I think. So anyways,
Yeah.
let's move on.
Let's move on to merch.
Oh my gosh. So yes, so we're gonna move on into that was about all the NWSL news we have because everybody's obviously taking a break, but ramping up this week, obviously, for games. So merch though, ACFC put out a new line, and I think this is super exciting. Did you get a chance to look at it, Nina?
Yeah, I'm actually really pissed off because everything's cute and I can buy it. Like,
I
come on.
agree. I agree. I took a look at this. So I saw it pop up and so they did a collab with Las Photos Project and Las Photos Project's mission is to elevate the voices of teenage girls and gender expansive youth from communities of color through photography and mentoring, empowering them to channel their creativity for the benefit of themselves, their community, and future careers. So I mean, hey, on top of the merch being super cute, because I need those gray shorts. They're like sweatpant shorts. Like I need
Super
them.
stylish right now. It's,
They're
like,
so
super
cute.
in.
I
Now that I work in
know.
a mall, I can say stuff like that.
That's right, you do know. But yeah, on top of that, you also get to help out a tremendous cause, which ACFC is always top notch for knowing how to collab and help out the community in ways that are super, super meaningful. So check that out. They have a link in their story currently, but easy to go to shop on their website. It's like the first thing that pops up. Take a look. Tag us if you buy anything. I want to see your cute clothes.
Yes, let me know because I you and I keep saying we want something that is pink. Like, we need color in our lives, and they delivered on this, and,
Too much
I feel
black
like
stuff in our life. Like I need some color. I need to express myself a little bit. So
yeah, I feel like we also have to shout out Charisse on that. So we've known Charisse for a while. Charisse has, like, seen me very upset when I haven't been able to get stuff. And she's actually been someone who's been super supportive and like, yes, I'm with you. We're going to get you stuff. And she is new to the Angel City team. I say new, but I think it's been like, what, 3, 6 months now? Feels new.
yeah,
But she
exactly.
is already like full steam ahead. She wants to make sure that they are touching on their roots. They are embracing the culture of Angel City and that they are inclusive in their sizes. And Charisse has heard it from me more than once, probably 5,000 million
Maybe
gajillion times.
every time that you see her, you let her know a little something, and she's like, "I hear you. I hear
Yeah,
you." And, yeah.
she's delivering. I love it. But you know
And
what?
what I also like is this merch is Mitchell& and Ness, which I really like a lot of the Mitchell& and Ness stuff, so it makes it even, like, I think better quality, but yeah, such cute stuff. Check it out,
Yeah.
definitely.
I am though currently wearing a black Angel City shirt, and I'll show you in a second because I think it's actually a good segue.
Oh, yes, you are. Oh,
And now
you're
I look
wearing
like I did when we were, what the rafting.
when we were rafting and you had your life jacket was you were what's that? I forget the name of the little character that's on the front of the car, but yeah. Anyways, um, Kristen Press. You're wearing a Kristen Press t-shirt.
I
Look
am.
at you and your
No,
support.
I
I love that for
full
you.
circle.
Yes, you're full circle. You know what? And we put this in our notes because I think it's something to bring up. We talked about this last time. We talked about her statement and her having a fourth surgery, and we talked a lot about, what's going on, what's
And I
wrong,
made you
why.
speculate on everything,
I
and
speculated, and I feel like most of what I speculated was pretty correct. And what I mean by that is, so recently she was on a pod. Okay, so her and Tobin Heath have a podcast, and it's called what did I say it was called?
the recap show. And, they
Yeah,
got their
yeah.
podcast because they were like, "Wow, we listened to Angel City Chicks, they're so good,
We
you
need to do
know,
this.
we need to do this too." I'm like,
Exactly.
"Yeah, Kristen, I got you, girl.
I get it. I
Go
get
with."
it. So she was recently, well, she's always on there, but she actually recently got, like Tobin asked her, "How are you doing? Are you okay?" And she went in to talk a little bit more about what's going on because she just had that fourth surgery that she alluded to whenever she put out her statement. And the first thing I noticed before she even got to this part in which, if you're on YouTube, you can see a screen grab that I grabbed, and there's a reason for it. But before she even got to talking about her surgery, I saw her sitting on the couch with her legs crossed and bent and just, chilling. So I
Things
knew
you can't
right
do.
things you can't do if you're dealing with a repair type situation or something that requires immobilization. So I knew in that moment, okay, it was probably a scope because a scope, when you bend your knee after a scope, you're not going to there's not much integrity that you're messing up because usually it's just cleaning up junk in there or doing something to make the knee more mobile. And at the end of the day, you kind of want to keep it moving. So it wasn't trying to repair anything at this point. And when she got to this certain point in it, she did say she's had 4 surgeries, and she went on to say 1 ACL repair, 3 scopes. So what that means is she's only had 1 repair. There's only been 1 instance where they went in and they actually anchored, the new ligament in and allowed it to heal. The rest of these surgeries have all been kind of, I don't know how to say it, but they all were done in order to kind of accommodate the ACL repair. Like I said, maybe it was scar tissue. Maybe there was foreign body in there that had broke off that they needed to clean up. Maybe something with the joint space. But at the end of the day, I feel like the actual AC repair itself is probably doing fine and taking well. It's everything around it that has needed a little help. And that is good news if people are wondering. That is better than if they had to go in and do something where they had to redo an ACL. That's not what you want. And I feel like we would have seen her in a brace for the last few weeks or months at some point. But either way, she was talking about it. And the one comment that she made was when she talked about her journey on that Instagram post, she said that, this was not a nightmare. Like this is all what it was supposed to be. She goes, I feel like I've been going up a mountain and the reward is cresting that mountain. So this journey has been that mountain and she feels like she's finally there. So it's not been a bad thing. But then People magazine came with the article where they said recovery has been a nightmare. And she's like, I didn't say that. I never said recovery is a nightmare. I said, the recovery is not a nightmare. Recovery is part of the journey. And, I think she feels stronger. I think she feels more empowered. I think she feels ready to go to prove to everybody that she can overcome this. And yeah, so it's a really good, I don't want to paraphrase everything she said. I think it's great if you go and listen. It's only a couple minutes long, but she talks a lot. She gets real about it. And I think it's nice to always hear it from the person's mouth themselves and not speculate on articles that other people have written. And so,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely better. And, we know Kristen Press listens to us. So Panda, what would be your advice for her right now? What should she be doing?
Well, obviously, probably physical therapy, hitting that hard and doing everything they tell her to do. She needs to start strengthening everything around that knee ligament to provide a lot of structure to keep this from being an issue in the past. Probably keep it moving at this point. If they're telling her to move it, move it. Like our body is the only thing in the world that the less we use it, the faster it breaks down. So it's not like a car where if you run it, it's going to just fall apart. Like you see people when they don't move or they get bedridden, it gets harder and harder to do things. So I think she needs to get out there. I think she's, once she's cleared to do those things, I think she's going to be definitely out there showing us that, this is not the end for her. And I'm excited to follow her journey and see what happens. So, I mean, injuries suck, and we've covered a lot of them. I appreciate her being open about it because we've been in the dark about a lot of things when it comes to injuries with this team. And, I think that kind of segues me into our next little slide when we talk about
Yeah, I
injury.
was
We
going to
talked
say,
about,
talking about that, we've
yeah,
got positivity.
we've got Amandine Henri. So we know we talked about her being injured and how it was a bummer and she missed out on the World Cup. But I think the silver lining at this point might be that she did get to integrate herself into the Angel City squad. I don't know what her playing ability will be, how soon it's going to happen, or anything like that. But what I do know is being there with the team right now, all that is doing is building teamwork, camaraderie, relationship. It's allowing her to be a part of this team. So when she is ready physically, she'll already have, I think, a lot going for her as opposed to if she were coming to us off of the World Cup.
Yeah, and I mean, we have to remember also there's a lot more that goes into practice than physical ability. There are training sessions and like planning sessions where they go through game strategy and things like that. So having her there can't be overstated. And, I do love that she says, like, she's the color of the local temperature. I'm with you, girl. As soon as I step into that sun, I am a tomato.
Yeah, say that staunch English or European blood there on that western side does not bode well for very sunny environments. So hopefully she has got stock in sunscreen. She's definitely going to need it out here at least for these next few months. Nina, maybe hook her up, let her know, Costco
Get her
is
all
where
the
it's
good
at.
brands. That's what I keep forgetting to order. Oh my gosh. I've been looking at my Amazon cart going, there was something else I needed. Oh my god.
Sunscreen. How could you
Yes, I'm
forget?
almost out.
I'm surprised you don't have that like on auto ship.
Well, I order it in bulk, so I don't need it in auto ship.
Subscribe and save on Amazon, Nina. Come on.
No, I just order like 20 at a time.
You can do that. All right. So
Order
anyways,
sunscreen.
I'm glad we put that out there for you. All right,
Thank you.
let's move on. We've kind of covered just a
Yeah.
little bit of what's happening in the NWSL and with ACFC, and we'll get into a little more ACFC news at the end when we talk about this weekend. But let's just get into what is actually going on right now. Even currently, South Korea and Colombia are playing. So appreciate anybody joining us right now. Hopefully, you have everything on at the same time. Throw us on your phone, watch the game at the same time. But yes, they are the last two teams that have yet to play a group stage. So going into this, I think that last group H is the only one that is undetermined. And we'll go over those standings and maybe we'll have a little update of how that might look by the time we get done with this. And we'll make sure to kind of circle back to that. But anyways,
Yeah.
Nina,
But first,
kick us off with the World Cup, and we're just going to talk about some fun news and kind of things that are happening, and then we'll highlight a little more specific team and player news.
yeah, I mean, first, I definitely want to talk about the fact that on the U.S. women's national team, we have 3 moms. Like, I love this. My baby fever is through the roof, but I love seeing these women go out there and show up for their kids. And, it doesn't do anything like it does so much. I'm like a little overwhelmed with the like talking about this because I think it's so important for kids to be able to see their parents be successful and to see their moms going on to have these beautiful careers and also to see these moms being supported and able to have kids come back. Alex Morgan, she's playing in her 4th World Cup. Charlie, who's 3 years old, was born May 2020. Of course, we've got Crystal Dunn, who's 31 years old. She had her son Marcel in May 2022. She returned to soccer after 112 days after having her son. And, then of course, our girl, Julie Ertz, who had Madden back in August 2022. And what Julie says is anyone who has gone through the process of coming back to work, it's challenging and I would say extremely emotional. But, what I love is that all these women are getting the support they need from their families, from the league, to be able to go out there and still perform. And I don't think that can be understated. So congrats, moms out there in the world. If you're not playing in the World Cup, you're still a World Cup all-star to your kids. Keep it going.
Can you imagine like little kids just hanging out and be like, "What's your mom do?" And like, "Ah, blah blah blah, whatever, 9 to 5." "Oh, my mom's not around right now. Where is she?" "Oh, she's playing in the World Cup."
Or, sorry,
It's
teacher,
amazing.
I need a month off of school. Why? Oh, because my mommy's in the World Cup.
Well, luckily it's in the
Like,
summer, so hopefully they're on summer break, so it's all good.
well, it's like Messi's son when he nutmegs Messi on the
Yeah,
pitch when he
love that.
first arrived at Miami. Like, yeah, to everyone else, he's Messi.
They're just kids,
To
yeah, like
Thiago, he's dad, and I'm gonna nutmeg him.
right, yeah. Like, "Dad, leave me
Yes.
alone," or, "Mom, come on, ew." No, it's funny, and, one thing I think that just really just can't go without saying is just how coming back after having a kid. I mean, this is just something, something men will just never understand. And that's not a knock to men. I mean, they're incredible in their own rights and what they do and everything, but they'll never know what it's like to play a game, produce and birth a child, and then have to come back after the changes your body goes through and try to go back to that same level. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, just to be able to come back from childbirth and just exist and live mentally and physically is just that right there is enough. Like there's a reason I don't think I've embarked on that journey yet. Like that's overwhelming and terrifying. And then for them to do that and come back and play on a professional level after that, like, oh, hold on.
There you
I don't
go.
I don't know what else to say. So,
Yeah.
congratulations to all the mothers out there playing. It's such an incredible place for you to be and for your kids to be able to see you do this. So, anyway.
Absolutely. And then speaking of exciting things that women are doing, there are 5 female USA referees that have been called up for the Women's World Cup. I would have thought there would be more, but
Yeah.
we're going to take what we have and celebrate. So 5 USA referees are over in Australia and New Zealand right now. They are refereeing. Of course, we know some of their names. Tori Pensa, who we've covered before here, who has been actually an MLS referee as well. And then Katia Korolova, who I know we've heard about before. And then there are 3 additional assistant referees. I am getting so tongue tied today. I read the
Man.
notes, but I can't talk. Um,
Okay.
so shout out to all those women. Keep it up. Way to represent. And then, we have a few records that we want to highlight that have already been set so far in this Women's World Cup. Panda, you want to kick
Yes.
it off?
Yes. So currently, let's just highlight real quick the current Golden Boot leader for the World Cup right now is Ari Borges. She's from Louisville. So we have an NWSL player who is leading from the front with 3 goals. She has a hat trick for Brazil in their most recent matchup that they had. And right behind her, of course, is Sophie Smith. She's got 2. There's a couple more on there, but I just think it's cool that someone from the NWSL is leading the way. And I mean, I'm not surprised at all that they are definitely leading the charge here when it comes to that. Certainly very early. I'm sure that's going to change, no doubt, especially if Sophie Smith keeps playing the way that she's been playing. Now, there were a ton of cool things from this World Cup. All the first time, like with Portugal and Vietnam and other teams, first time in the World Cup, like lots of fun stuff to highlight. And one of the things that I noticed that I thought was really cool was Morocco. Morocco is
Yes.
the first Arab nation to compete in Women's World Cup and also the first North African country in a Women's World Cup. And it's just great to see that. I mean, those countries, I can't imagine how how long ago you think that they even were able to start being in this, like to be able to compete in this league. Like they were so oppressed, and I'm sure there's still things that need to be worked out, but the
Mhm.
opportunity for them to be here clearly is the doors opening up, the doors getting wider, and they've come through. And I mean, seeing people like the Philippines, just so many of these nations coming
Yeah,
in here, and it's just so exciting to see. And I mean, obviously I'm sure they want to come win, but I know that they're just so happy to be here. And that was just really cool to see them out there. Now,
absolutely.
unfortunately, they had to play Germany in their first
Oof.
match.
And
And
Germany is taking names. So far, they are the only team to have 7 games scoring 6 plus goals. And let's just run through this real quick. 1-6 against Brazil, 1-6 against Argentina, 11-0 against Argentina, 6-0 against Morocco, 10-0 against
I
Ivory Coast, 7-1 against Russia, and 6-0 against Mexico. I do not
whew,
want to see Germany.
I, Germany's going to be tough. I mean, they've always been tough when it comes to soccer. I mean, the men's team for so long were so dominant, so I'm sure that translate across all the fields of play, especially the women. But yeah, they have come to play. They came to show up. They are definitely trying to get highlighted on that Netflix documentary that is happening for the U.S. women's national team. So, whew, yeah, so they're
Oh,
going to
they're
be
making a
tough.
run.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. So, anyways, that was kind
Before
of what.
before we go to Angel City, though, I know you and I both watched the Nigeria Canada game,
Oh my
and
goodness.
I what I want to tell people first of all is if you're having trouble understanding the schedule, if you get your time zones confused, just get a friend like Panda who will text you game on. Um, because that's exactly what happened for me here. And she goes, "Oh, are you watching this?" And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Nigeria, Canada." I'm like, "Oh, is Canada winning?"
Oh my gosh,
Oh my
listen.
gosh.
So so I will touch on that in just a second about the time frame because I earlier I was going through this, but real quick, this Nigeria Canada matchup, super cool. I mean, you've got Canada coming off, an Olympic gold medal, so we know they're a great team. And then you got Nigeria coming in, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't expect Canada to lose, which they didn't. They ended up tying, but Nigeria held their own, and this was an intensely physical match. They had 16 fouls, Nigeria did. They were coming for Canada, and they ended up with actually one red card. That was a nasty looking. I don't know how that girl got up. I forget who the foul was on, but I thought she broke her ankle. I'm not lying. I don't know how. I mean, she must stretch really well. Those tendons must be really good and loose because I thought she broke it. She got up, she played on and everything, and it was at the end of the match, and Nigeria hung in there. But that was an intensely physical match. So keep your eye on Nigeria because they are coming to play as well, and it was very exciting to watch. But before I get into Angel City on the world stage, yes, I was researching these games and I was trying to figure out who's playing what and when and everything, and it gets very confusing because it will say the game's on Wednesday because it's thinking East Coast time for most people, but it'll say 10:30 p.m. Pacific. Okay. So when it said 10:30 Pacific on Tuesday, it really meant 10:30 tonight because that's 1:30 a.m. on the East Coast. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, wait, I know New Zealand plays tonight, but it says Tuesday. It says Tuesday 10:30 p.m. Guys, just check everything, double check everything. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
everybody's out here to fend for themselves because yeah.
Well, thank you, Mario and Casual FC Pod, for doing the Lord's work. They have it in their highlights. You can go check it out there if you need the extra help. And then if you need Panda reminders, shoot her a text
I
and
will text you. I'm like, I'm
she'll
watching it
shoot you a
now.
text back when it's time.
I will. Yeah, it was so bizarre because I grabbed these cute little graphics I was going to put up here, and it's just kind of funny because you can't see this, but at the top it says Tuesday, July 25th at the top, okay? And then it says New Zealand 10:30 p.m. And I was just like,
So it
wait,
makes it seem like tomorrow because Google is converting it to today's time period, but they don't know to change
10:30
the
is
date.
Pacific time, but
Thanks, Google.
The Tuesday is for everyone else. I'm like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god. Like do not mess with my brain like this." So, anyways,
Mhm.
we'll do our best to make this make sense as well. If you don't understand us, go over to Casual FC Pod and they will probably make it make more sense cuz well, you know us.
Yeah.
We go off the rails sometimes. But
Frequently, but I read the notes. And next thing on the notes is Angel City on the world stage.
yes, this is a segment where we are going to talk about, of course, the four players that are with our team and how they did, and the teams that they're associated with and what they're doing. That's where it's more important to us. If you want to know anything about the other teams, Google. It's great. So let's get into it. We're going to start out with obviously. Okay, well,
Put us out of business. Just Google it.
What? We put a little spin on it. I'm just saying, if you wanna know
Oh,
something about, you know,
this is us
the
sober too. We're both drinking water.
I know, I am drinking Topo Chico in a wine glass because it's fancy, and the bubbles make me think it's, like, champagne, so
I was gonna get a sparkling water, but you told me I had to read the notes, so I didn't have time.
oh, I'm so sorry. But thank you. Appreciate that. Um
So, yeah, let's start with catching up with our captain, the first player to make a debut for the World Cup or to have her team play. Ali Riley, of course, playing for New Zealand, and they are one of our host countries. And New Zealand actually enjoyed their first ever win in the World Cup.
Yes.
They were able to, God, see, I can't read today.
So, this was their 16th
16th
World Cup
ever World
match.
Cup match. They had 3 draws and 12 losses,
There
and
you
they're
go.
playing tonight against the Philippines at 10 PM.
Correct, yes. So, this is the 2nd game for them, the first team to play well, the Philippines and New Zealand are playing tonight. It's the first, 2 teams to enter the 2nd, game of the group stage. So, you've got Colombia, South Korea, like, wrapping up first round games and then immediately going into the 2nd games, and we'll tell you, what's important coming up when it comes to that as well. But real quick about Riley, she was clearly emotional going into this game. I think it meant the world for her to one represent her country, to represent her country in her home country, and at the end of the day to get that win. I mean, the emotion that flooded the social medias
Yeah.
was, I mean, you could feel it through there. And big shout out to the Angel City watch parties. Did you see 33 taps? I mean, both of them. I mean, there
Just
was
crazy amazing. I love every second of this. Oh,
she
it just warms my heart.
I mean, I loved Ali Riley's comment. She goes, I never thought a million years that people were going to tune in and watch a midnight showing of, of the Women's World Cup and to see one people in the stands, shout out Igor from Pandemonium, and to see the videos out there of the watch parties and people just like chanting I mean, it wasn't like 4 or 5, 6 people. It was like 100 people at each of these. Well, I mean, if she wasn't already emotional from everything else, I think that just set her over the top. And you just love to see it because she is just such a light, so much joy. And
Yeah.
I mean, we are so fortunate to have her as a part of our Angel City squad.
Absolutely. And can we talk about the nails?
Let's talk about
Like,
the
let's talk
nails,
about the
Nina.
nails. Ali giving it to
Oh,
me.
my
Oh my
goodness.
goodness. You
So,
know,
if you guys didn't know, they've kind of like forbidden any kind of like stance on social issues, like outwardly. Like, I don't understand it.
they
I don't
just
even want to.
want to make sure it doesn't get political or they're trying like
Yeah,
it's how like Brazil showed up in their plane and they were kind of criticizing some of the injustices against women in other countries. They're trying to I don't know, it's
they're
stupid. I
trying to keep it
dislike
just
it.
to football. I get
I
it, but
dislike that. Like, I'm sorry, they have a platform, they should use their voices. Go away.
yeah, but you know what? If you've got fingernails, you've got a platform. So if you guys didn't see it, Ali Riley showed up, and on one hand, she had the rainbow flag. She had like red, orange, yellow, green, blue supporting, and on the other hand, she had the trans flag colors. She had the blue and pink. So she showed up representing her country and also representing and just trying to be a platform herself for the LGBTQ plus community. And how can you say anything about that? What are they going to do? They can't tell her
Nothing.
to take it off. Those are colors. Sorry,
Yeah.
get over it. So, anyways, I thought that was amazing. It's just a testament to her character to think on that level, to know and to have the wherewithal to say, you know what, I'm gonna do what I can, and this is what I got. And people noticed, people saw, and I love that for her.
I love that for her too. Let's go check in with our next girl. We've got June Endo playing, of course,
Yes.
and she actually plays for Japan. And of course, they had a amazing 5-0 win. Holy cow. It was
Yes.
just incredible. And, I was really excited because Endo ended up actually getting one of these and she had an assist. So love that for her. She was looking incredible in the match. What do you
Yeah.
think, Panda?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it was a great game for Japan. They were able to, get a comfortable 5-0 win over Zambia. And yeah, it was interesting because there was some late drama in that match. Goalkeeper Musanda, she actually was dismissed, and Ueki, she came in, she scored a retaken penalty after there was deemed to be encroachment from a spot kick save. So that was her first touch in international football. So that was kind of interesting. But yeah, so great to see our
Hold
one of
on,
our
I want to explain.
our first ACFC player to score in the World Cup. So congratulations to June Endo. Their next match is tomorrow at 10 p.m. versus Costa Rica. So make sure you tune in for that. Now, Nina, this is a great time for you to talk soccer to me. What do you want me to ask about?
Encroachment. So what encroachment is? Encroachment can happen in several different ways. On a penalty kick, it's essentially what you think. It's people coming too close to the play. And the thought process is that by either one, the keeper coming off their line early could create an advantage to them, that it would be considered encroachment. But a lot of the times when we hear encroachment, we're also talking about players coming into the box or inside the penalty arc before the ball is kicked. And that can do two different things. That can distract the kicker, that can distract the keeper, and that can give an unfair advantage if the ball is deflected for either team, for whoever is closer now in proximity to the goal. So when we have encroachment, if it is encroachment and the offense, the person doing the encroaching is on the defensive team, it will always be retaken unless it is scored. If we have encroachment and it is the defensive team and it is saved, they will allow that to continue. But if the offensive team encroaches and the ball is saved, if the defensive team encroaches and a ball is saved, it will be retaken. If the defensive team encroaches and the ball is scored, it will not be retaken.
Okay. What if the offensive team encroaches?
If the offensive team encroaches and the ball is saved, it will be retaken. If the offensive team encroaches and the goal is scored, it will still be retaken.
So if the offensive team encroaches and the penalty was saved,
yeah.
They retake it again?
Visuals. We got to act this one out.
You're supposed to explain this in ways that I understand, Nina, not make me more confused. Is there any, okay, answer me this. Is there any instance where encroachment happens and the ball is not retaken?
Yes. If the defensive players, or sorry, if my teammates, if I'm taking the kick,
yes,
and you're on my team,
yes,
and you come into the box beforehand, if you encroach and I sky it, it's not going to be retaken.
Okay.
Because my team is offending.
I guess I'm confused. Like if a defensive person encroaches and the ball is not saved, they still retake it?
No. I think in that case it holds.
I don't understand anything anymore. Thank you, Nina.
Just essentially encroachment isn't just the keeper coming off the line. It can also be players coming into the box.
Got it. Okay. That's all we need to know. We'll figure it out as we go.
We'll do visuals next time.
Next time, Nina, I want you to act it out.
Ooh, challenge accepted.
Okay, good.
I'm going to make videos. I'm going to get little action figures. Can I buy some action figures?
Sure. Whatever you want, Nina. I don't care. All right, let's move on real quick to the big game, the first group stage game that USA is going to play in. Of course, it is going to be against Vietnam, making their first appearance into the World Cup. And, well, it went about as we expected. Now, real quick, what I do want to say is shame on whoever decided it was fine to put this stupid Leagues Cup game with Messi on at the same time as the U.S. women's national team. Really kind of sucky for both, because I feel like, they're both were kind of cool in their own right, but you definitely had to choose. And I chose, the women's national team and just went back and watched highlights of that later. But, I don't know. I was really grumpy about that. I'm like, man, you guys just really want to come in and just like, we got something better, but you don't. So that's good. Anyways, let's talk about this game. Of course, Ertz Thompson, both on the U.S. women's national team for Angel City, and Julie Ertz gets the start for this. And What did you think?
Love it. Oh, it was such an exciting game. We talked about the fact that Vietnam could show up and have an amazing showing. We didn't know what really to expect because it's kind of like when you go into playoffs. Previous history, everything kind of goes out the window. But, they did show up and it looked like a physical game. The stats don't necessarily reflect that. And, I'm going to actually throw those up now. Normally we
Okay.
talk through the game first, but this is not an Angel City game. So let's get into it. Actually, I'm going to make those bigger so I can read them. Um, so USA ended up winning 3-0. And, it doesn't show in this stats line how much Vietnam, I feel like, did actually show up. We did obviously look better. I felt better about it. We had 28 shots with 7 on target. They had none. We controlled the game with 66% possession, but we were about equal on fouls, 13 fouls apiece and 1 yellow card apiece. We took 9 corners. We had 5 offsides. So we were definitely the more antagonistic team. We were challenging in all the right ways, but I felt like Vietnam still held their own despite this stat line.
Well, I mean, if you look at the Thailand game, obviously we are capable of really throwing up some goals up there, and we didn't, and we certainly were not. There are plenty of more teams in this first round of games that put up more goals. I think there are definitely some shots that we didn't finish. I mean,
Yeah,
we had a
Mario calls it out right here.
yeah, I was getting ready to say it could have at least been 4-0, but Morgan's penalty was saved. But who did show up was, of course, Sophie Smith. I mean, she is so good. She's so much fun to watch. And she had 3 goal contributions. Aside from the 2 goals that she put in the back of the net, she also had an assist. She was able to get that out to Haran. And like you said, I mean, Vietnam, they were not overawed in their first game. They held their own. They just did not manage to trouble us at all from an offensive side. And so I think they probably really learned a lot going forward. And I'm really excited to see how maybe Vietnam and Portugal do, 2 first-time teams against each other. So that'll be fun. But again, shout out to Sophie Smith. I mean, she's so dynamic out there. She's so much fun to watch. And I'm going to go ahead and read one of this OptiJack stat. It was Sophie Smith. She is the first. Hold on, I'm going to pull this down. Here we go. There. She was the second U.S. women's national team player to record 3 goal contributions in her FIFA World Cup Women's World Cup debut. So congratulations to her. 2 goals, 1 assist. Now let's talk a little bit about Alyssa Thompson. She did get subbed in for Trinity Rodman.
Yeah, and with that, at 18 years, 257 days old, she's actually the second youngest player to appear for the U.S. women's national team at the Women's World Cup. So definitely excited to see some Angel City headlines within that. But, I do want to go back a little bit to Sophia Smith too, because the goal celebration, we've talked a little bit before about how Germa was making sure that she was shouting out Katie Meyer within everything and that she was going to honor her. And Sophia Smith did the same. And they actually dedicated Sophia's goal celebration to Katie Meyer.
Yeah, the zip your lip celebration. I think they kind of missed it on when you're watching it. I think they caught just the very end of it, but they did make sure to talk about it. And it was funny. She said that her and Sophie Smith were talking about whoever scores first, and she goes, "Probably you," talking to Sophia Smith, knowing her position just sets her up for the opportunity, obviously, to be the first one to do that. But always keeping her in the back of their minds, and they have said from the beginning they were dedicating this to her. So keeping her spirit alive and well in this game, and you love to see that. And you know what else I love to see?
Records.
Yes. So this slide definitely highlights the viewership that's happening and all the eyes that are on the women's national team right now. So apparently
sorry, I don't want to say that this is a record for me, but my birthday is May 26th, and this is 5,261,000 viewers. So it's for me. It's mine.
Well, you're really reaching for that one. But what Nina is referring to is that there were 5,261,000 viewers. So this was the second Only the second, which is crazy. Second most watched Women's World Cup group stage telecast ever on English language television. Uh, Leading the charge on that was 2019 USA versus Chile, 5,337,000. And I guarantee you, I hate to say this, but you take that Leagues Cup match off the screen, I
Mhm.
guarantee you that gets broken because I know there are people that were like, I'll watch one now, I'll watch the other one later. And some of those people probably just chose to do that. I mean, that's fine. Do what you got to do. Still watch and support. But I have a big suspicion that you take that game off the air, you have people tuning into this. And that's why it makes me a little angry. But I
Yeah.
digress.
But you know what we've talked about before also is the fact that women's sports are gaining popularity, and we are up 99% from the 2019 equivalent group stage telecast, which was with France, from France on Fox Soccer, where USA played Thailand, and they only had 2,649,000 views. So we are still growing, and we will see, because this is the second most watched group stage game, but we've got a couple group stage games, so we could still break some records. And
I like this
I'm
next
in.
stat on here. It says most streamed Women's World Cup group stage match in Fox Sports history with an average minute audience of 155,831. So that meant every minute there were at least that many people watching the game, and on average. And I think that's a fun stat. I mean, imagine trying to compile those. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I mean, we can't downplay the fact that this actually, because people tune in, they tune out. Sometimes you have to go to work or you have kids, and the match actually peaked at 6,552 people watching, and that was from 10:45 to 11 p.m. Eastern time.
How is that not considered the viewers?
I don't know, and also, how do they know that I watched it? Because I didn't watch it on my phone. I didn't watch it on my TV. I went to a watch party. How
Right.
do
If
they know
you've
I was
got
there?
I don't know. That's what we were talking about. Like, if you are in a room full of 100 people watching the one game, what does that count as?
I have 17 personalities. What do I count as?
Which one was watching the game?
All of them.
The drunk one? Oh, and then this last stat we'll highlight the top 5 available markets. Interesting. Kansas
Mm.
City, Washington, D.C., Hartford, Austin, and San Francisco. So, I don't really know what that one actually
I mean,
means.
I think this means that the NWSL is going to all the right markets. We've got
Right.
NWSL to the Bay, San Francisco, Kansas City, building out a soccer specific women's NWSL stadium specifically for them with training center. There's a lot going on here. We've got the Spirit. We've got obviously a lot of expansion, and we're seeing who is watching. And, I'm not going to say challenge accepted, but
Right?
you better wait, because it's probably because we were all at watch parties together.
Right, exactly.
And we don't know
So
how they come up with these
we
stats.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I mean, they go down. I mean, yeah, I mean, they go down to like the thousands. So I feel like they're either missing or overestimating. I don't know. Maybe for each group party that you put in for it's equivalent to X amount of people. I don't know, but either
I don't
way,
know either. But
thoughts
let's
on the way that the U.S. women played at the real quick? I mean, do you think they were just kind of knocking the rust off? That's just now really getting to finally play together. I mean, that these are hard to pull girls together that are from all over the place that hardly ever play together. I mean, how do you feel they played in their first? Do you think there were missed opportunities, or do you think that they'll learn from these opportunities and we'll see them a little bit more dynamic?
Oh, yeah, there's always gonna be adjustments after a game like this, and, I think that we have to prepare ourselves because it's going to become even more challenging. I was really excited to see Alyssa get some minutes here, and, we'll see what happens. I think they played really strong. I think they held their own. They had a great match. They connected well, but there's always room for improvement.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see them, and we'll get into what to expect with that. But I think the next slide is,
Yeah.
yeah, we're just going to go in. I know it's hard to read, but if you pause it and I don't know, bring it real close to your face, you can read it. Um,
Yeah, we just threw up for you guys following us on YouTube the current standings, and we know there is currently a live game going on right now,
which
but as
Colombia
of
is up 2-0 right now.
Ooh, but as of right before that game, Group A, right now we've got Switzerland and New Zealand leading the way with the first two spots there. But, really anyone's match. Those all went with one win apiece. And then, of course, the other teams in their group losing. In Group B, Australia and Canada, to no surprise, both sitting up top. Canada with only 1 point because of the draw to Nigeria, but Australia with that win against Ireland. And
Yep.
then in Group C, Japan sitting top of the table, followed by Spain. Both of those teams with 3 points currently, but Japan sitting up because of their goal differential to that
Yeah. That
amazing game.
Group C is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Japan and Spain look tough, and I mean they both put up dominating performances. It's going to be fun to watch those two duke it out.
Yeah. And then Group D, Denmark and England, both with a win apiece, sitting with 3 points. And then, of course, our group, Group E, we are on top, USA, with 3 points and our +3 goal differential. Netherlands right below us. And they have a +1 goal differential, but they got that win. Group F, Brazil and France sitting on top. Brazil won their match. France had a tie.
Well, Jamaica's tied with France technically. I mean, they have 0 goal diff and a
Correct.
tie. So, yes, I think they drew each other, so.
Yeah. And then in Group G, Sweden and Italy sitting top of their table, each with 3 points and a +1 goal differential. And then in Group H, of course, Germany with a +6 goal differential and 3 points, followed by a draw, 0-0 draw from Korea
Yep.
and Colombia.
No. That game's going on right now, Nina.
That's right. Thank you very much.
The game's going on and Colombia is up 2-0. So if these current standings hold, then it would be Germany and Colombia both with 3 points and Colombia with a 2 goal differential. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll follow along. So if you're listening to this and the game's already happened, then yeah, sorry. All right, so let's move on. Obviously, we have a big game happening Wednesday night. So Wednesday, July 26th at it's gonna be 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, and we are gonna be playing the Netherlands. So we still have this original watch party schedule up because it was just easier just to throw that up. There is going to be a watch party. It's going to be at the Jerry Moss Plaza at the Music Center in collaboration with the Music Center. So that's really interesting. I mean, I'm very curious to see what that might be all about. The party starts at 4. Kickoff is at 6. So if anybody's planning on heading down there, let us know. If not, if it's just too far for you, I know if you take a look on Angel City Facebook supporters group, they're always posting about watch parties. I know there's some down in the OC for those that can't make it up in the middle of the week. Totally understand. Some out in Riverside, Ventura, like they're all over the place. So there's a watch party near you, but this is the official one that Angel City is promoting. Now,
and I know what a lot of you are thinking. I can't go to downtown LA. Parking sucks. Let me tell you, parking is free from 3:30 to 10 at the Music Center main campus parking garage. Just mention the World Cup watch party when you arrive. And they are encouraging picnics, but there is no outside alcohol allowed. There will be food and beverage options for purchase if you do show up, and a few chairs, but feel free to bring your low back camping chairs, bring an umbrella.
Is it outside?
It is going to be outside.
Okay. I don't know anything about the Music Center, so I'm glad you brought this up because I don't have any of that information. Look at you, Nina.
I try.
You're so
Usually
good.
plazas are outside. Keyword.
Yay. All right. Nina read the notes and came prepared. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love it. Okay. So anyway, so that's going to be going on. Like I said, taking on the Netherlands. And, they beat Portugal 1-0. And a lot of people said that, they looked underwhelming. But then a lot of others said, well, they were probably saving their energy for USA. So I don't know if what we saw against Portugal is going to be indicative of how they're playing, or if they're going to come out with like a little surprise, or I don't know, but hopefully come out with a win, and that's the plan. But going forward, what else? What other stat did I throw? Did I throw the rest of it? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
Obviously
think this is incredibly important. Now we got to talk about the Ultra before we go into the next Angel City home match, because you actually need to RSVP for this one. And I've put the link in our chat if you're on the YouTubes. But if you're not, you can always go to Angel City on their website. The Ultra, 4 matches in one day, 2023 Women's World Cup watch party. You got a 12:30 a.m., you got a 3 a.m., you got a 5:30 a.m., you got a nappy nap, and then a 7 p.m. Angel City home match. Oh,
oh.
oh. I don't think people want to know me in that environment. I am already crazy and
So,
chaotic.
question, do you have the information on where this is?
So it's going to be in West LA. Address and directions will be provided after you submit your RSVP, but the deadline to RSVP is midnight on Thursday, July 27th. So make sure you get on that soon. You will have to have an ID and an RSVP confirmation. So this is going to be intense. It's like only for the brave. I don't know.
Okay. Well, there you go. There you have it. I don't even know what to think about this, Nina.
I'm RSVPing.
Okay, I guess we're RSVPing. Good thing is we can take a large nap in between that and the
Oh, no, we
game that's
can't. I
happening.
told Ben that we would be tailgating, so we have to be at the tailgate by 11.
Well, I'll have to talk to you about that. I don't know how early I can be there. We're supposed to have an event at Jeff Burham's house for the strikers.
Oh,
I
that's fun.
know. I know. We
Oh,
haven't.
talk about that real quick. Let's
Oh,
segue.
oh, okay.
Anybody play indoor? No.
Yeah, no, thank you for reminding me. Yes. So real quick, so I do sideline for the Empire Strikers out in Ontario, and every year they do an indoor match. It's the men's Mexico team versus US's men's team as well. And it's a fun, dynamic match. It's indoor soccer, and if you've never been, it's fun, it's incredible, it's exciting, and it's indoor. So don't worry about sun. But this year they're doing something else. They're adding before it a women's match. So US women's versus Mexico women's. So if you have a soccer resume and you would like to participate in this, let me know. Reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, and I will direct you to who you need to send your information to. You could play this game. It is September 10th. It is on a Sunday. It's going to be a fun all day thing. I think they're actually having like a cornhole tournament in the morning, and then they're doing
Ooh.
then the women's game, and then they're going to do the men's game. It's just going to be a whole big thing, and I'll be there hosting and everything. So
I'll be
if
there.
you Yes, Nina will. I mean, yeah, obviously you'll be there too, helping with the women. And yeah, Angel City has been really involved with the strikers as well, coming out, their street team coming out and just trying to push the women's game out into the Inland Empire. So if you're out in that area, please come out if you want to watch, if you want to play by the 31st. So I think you have a week to get some information in, put together a soccer resume, how you've played, why you think you'd be good for this team. I don't know, yeah, I don't think you have to be like way up there on level, but I think they just want to know that you know how to
Don't
kick the ball.
suck.
Yes. So anyways,
Well,
I'm
be
glad you brought
better
that
than Nina and Amanda if you're gonna do this. I know that's a low bar.
My cats are better than me when it comes to kicking a ball. So,
I
but
gotta post
anyways,
that video one day.
I bring that up because the owner of the team is having like a meet and greet event, like from 3 to
Aw.
like 8. So we may just come for like part of that and then head out to the game. So we
For
haven't
some reason,
decided.
my mind went to 3 a.m. I'm like, wow, that's impressive.
Party. Anyways,
Oh.
I will be putting some more information up about that once I get the graphics and stuff for it too. So if you missed it here or don't know what I was talking about, just keep your eyes peeled and be ready. So anyways,
Yes.
move on real quick. Last slide. We are going to talk about the very last group stage game that will be against Portugal is going to be it'll be July 31st at its kickoffs at midnight. So again, if you look at some of the stuff and it says the game's August 1st, that actually means July 31st going into August 1st because it's all confusing. But anyways, that's all I got as far as where we're at, how we're doing.
Yeah.
Good week of sports down when it comes to women's football. It's been exciting. It's been fun. Not a whole lot of drama. One thing we didn't talk about is what happened prior to the World Cup. And it was a totally unrelated event. It was,
Yeah.
yeah. And, I'm just happy that all of our girls are safe. I think it was the Norwegian team, I think it was, that was in the area, but they were all safe. But if you didn't know, there was a shooting, which is very rare in New Zealand, and it was a personal event. I don't know the details, but they got on it quickly, and thankfully, not more people were involved than there were. So, anyways, our hearts and prayers go out to them. Hopefully, there are no other dramatic events that will be happening. Hopefully, the drama stays on the pitch, and we see some exciting games.
And,
And yeah,
it is an Angel City podcast, so we got to give you just once again Angel City playing the Thorns July 29th at home. Then we are away at San Diego Wave on August 5th, and then away against Racing Louisville on August 19th. Very exciting matches coming up. We will be finishing out the Fugazi Cup and then returning to normal league play. And of course, as you know, our record against the Thorns, we do have 1 win. They have 2 wins, and there are 2 draws. So we will see how that goes down. They're missing a lot of players, and we got the depth. So bring it on. I'm ready for it. Let's take them down. Let's win this Fugazi tournament and the real $1 million prize.
I won't call it the Fugazi Cup anymore if we win $1 million.
I'm going to call it $1 million cup.
I'm going to call it the Cash Cup. Let's go.
Cash Cup. Let's go. Cash money.
But all right. Well, you know how we like to kind of, I don't know. You put it up there. Do you want to put it up there?
Oh, are we done?
I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to say? I mean,
no.
Like I said, it's really hard to cover everything with the World Cup. I mean, there's so much that could happen. Hopefully, we touched on the points that were important to you. If there's anything that you would like to hear us talk about or hear us discuss, by all means, let us know. If you have any questions about the schedule, hit us or Casual FC Pod up. We think we've got it figured out. We will try not to steer you wrong. Curious about watch parties, by all means, let us know, and we'll do our best to find that information for you. Do you have anything to add, Nina?
No. I mean, do you want to do the quote this time?
I will do the quote. This was after the match, and this is what Sophia Smith had to say on winning the first game of the tournament and having it behind him. She said, "I feel good. I think it was a good starting point for our team in this tournament. I also know that we have a lot more that we can give, a lot more to do, and little things to work on." So I do agree. I think they were solid, but I think they have room to grow. And I think as they play together, I think we're going to start to see them being a little more dynamic and having a little bit better communication and really knowing how each other will play as this tournament moves on.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right. Well, you know how we like to end things.
Bye.
Bye.
And here's our fluff.
Sweet. All right. Right at an hour. See, I told you it'd be an hour, Nina. You're like, what are we going to talk about? I'm like, there's so much to talk about.
I just forget that I derail you and that then I go on tangents and all these other things.
You forget that we have like a conversational pod and we're not just like, and this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened.
It's like meetings at work, and I just want to be like, boom, 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 done.
Got it.
But I'm actually on vacation for 2 days now because I took off some time. JR and I going down to see Manchester United versus Wrexham in San Diego at Snapdragon.
Oh, second time you're going to see Wrexham in a week because we went and saw Wrexham versus Los Dos. They won 5-0 down there at Dignity Health Sports Park. That was fun. We had a great time.
Yeah, great seats that you got, like literally first row center pitch behind the bench. Like, oh my God.
Good to know people. It's good to know people. So if I could try to get those seats for the AC Milan Juve match, then I'll probably be arrested for jumping the rails and trying to get a picture with Giroud. So
I
keep
would
your
help
eyes
you.
peeled for that.
I would run interference. I would like stand there and like body block security so you could get to him.
Do you like set up a screen, like do like a pick and roll? Let's go.
Absolutely. That's what friends are for. Can I also share with everyone who's still with us? We had to do this episode twice because Amanda forgot to go live.
We did not do the whole episode twice. If we were,
we did the intro twice. We were after giving me such a hard time. She did the whole intro and then goes, "Oh, we're not live."
I went up and I swear I hit go live, but I think what I did is I hit the intro music first. I just got excited and I kept looking up in the left-hand corner. I'm like, why does that look different? And it looks different because all it said was scheduled. And whenever we're live, it says live. And then it tells you how many people are watching. And I was like, what? does it say none if nobody's watching? I'm like, this is weird. And then I was like, oh crap. I'm like, well, I'm glad we got that intro out of the way.
I did it much better my first time. So like you got the worst version of our intro.
Oh gosh, it was fine. I mean, they don't know what that was like, so they can't compare it. So it was the
Yeah,
best of
my
what they
mistakes are
heard.
all on camera and like recorded for all eternity. Yours was gone. I had to
Thanks.
be there.
Thank you. Now I'm so glad everybody now knows about it.
You're welcome. That's
We
what
made
I'm
it
here
this
for.
whole pod without you calling out my inadequacy
I
and being
mean, I
able
have
to
to.
click a
Also,
button.
I gave the best cat aunt present I could to you. And we definitely need to talk about this because we talk about the cats a lot. And for any parents out there, you know when the cool aunt gives the kid drums? I gave her cats a kiddie pool and goldfish, and I blew it up and filled it with water for her.
It was not great, guys. It was not
Oh,
great. The
they
cats, they step
loved
in
it.
it and then they're like, oh, they shake it and then water goes everywhere. It's great.
But they loved it. They had so much fun. They hunted 4 goldfish and pulled them out. They're not real goldfish, obviously. They're little plastic toys.
Oh
Um,
God. Yeah.
but they were able to get 4 of them out of the pool and into dry land, and they got to play with them, and they loved
Dry land,
it.
right where goldfish want to be.
But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely had water everywhere as a result. And I only put 2 big buckets full.
Thanks, Nina. Thanks. Appreciate you. Well,
Best cat aunt ever.
anyways, anything else you want to talk about? We're good. Did we do it? Did we do the thing?
I think we did
Okay.
the thing.
Now we don't have to wake up early and do this. We can sleep in.
Yay! Sleep.
Yes. And like Nina said, she's going to Wrexham and Manchester United tomorrow. That's why we did this tonight, because anything else didn't make sense. We wanted to be able to give you a little bit going into the women's match. I didn't want to give you a podcast like Wednesday morning for the match that's going to, because no one would have listened to it. I want you guys to kind of like get warmed up and ready and feel excited for it. So that's why we did it tonight. Hopefully we'll
tag us at your watch parties. Tag us at your fun.
Tag us everything. If you buy merch, I want to see what you bought. Like, I'm so excited. But anyways, I think it's time to move on with our lives and let everybody go and see the second half of the Columbia game, all the people that are watching currently. So without further ado, peace out, Girl Scouts.